I have the distinct privilege of having Ryan here today. I'll have Ryan introduce himself, but Ryan, what is your story, brother?
So I'm Ryan Tubbs. I get the pleasure of serving as the mayor of Celina. Some other people may also call me Cora's dad or Aria's dad, and then I'm Carmen's husband. So I think that's really what I pride myself on. More than anything, it's just being family first, but thank you for having me on.
Of course. How long you lived in Celina area?
Yeah, we moved to Celina in 2017, so we started driving around looking at houses and kind of just fell in love with the area. We came from an older established part of Allen, so we've been in the Metroplex. I grew up in Garland, but when we came over from Allen, we were in an established area that had the houses were built around 1990, so everybody was in their early 50s to 60s, kind of retirement age. We bought right next to an elementary school and thought, this is going to be great. We'll be here for a long time. And then as our daughter was going into kindergarten, we moved as plans take shape. So, going on about 9 years.
Nice. Why did you move out to Celina?
Yeah, I think when we drove around the entire area, we saw people playing in their driveways. That was the number one thing that was shocking to us because we came from an area with older families. It just wasn't that prevalent. So we came in and said, you know what? There's actually kids riding bikes. There was a mom. I remember my wife telling me a mom had 8 kids in her driveway doing sidewalk chalk. And so it was just
that was the selling point?
Yeah, that was the selling point. It wasn't, everybody has their own thing. It may be for a job. It may be for schools. It may be a safe area. And we really just moved from a family standpoint. I did move when my wife was 9 months pregnant. I don't recommend that. I think I'll never live that one down because my wife packed our entire house in about 2 weeks. And then we moved in. She had the baby 2-3 weeks later after we had moved. So that was an interesting experience.
I bet it was. Ours is a similar story. We moved from the Wiley area, so not too far from the other side of Allen, a little further. And when we were looking, we pulled in the neighborhood at one point, and there were 60 kids on the street. And I'm like, what is this? And then the neighbor told us, there's an elementary school down the street. And it wasn't even on Google Maps at the time. This is 10, 11 years ago. So I'm like, what elementary school? And it was like, okay, it's typical to have a child neighbor in our house or playing on the street. Now my kids are getting older, but for the last many years, it was kids always around. And I'm like, that's perfect. So why... Shifting, why would you run for mayor? Why in the world would you do something like that?
Yeah, I think, man, how much time do we have? No,
I'm like, what were you thinking? Is your wife still talking to you?
Yeah, that's a different aside as far as what happened there. But no, I think I was heavily involved in helping other people with their campaigns.
Okay.
So previously, Jay Pierce had run, Wendy Wigginton had run, Philip Ferguson had run. So I'd helped.
These all for Celina area?
Yeah, these were all Celina City Council people. And I just helped. I was heavily involved. I was that keyboard warrior complaining online all the time. Why are we giving away this tax incentive? Why are water rates so high? Well, why? Just trying to learn. I had no interest in politics.
Do you have an answer for those questions now?
Yeah, now I have an answer. I can explain everything. But in turn, it was... I just kind of felt like it was my time. I wanted to... Well, you always talk about be the change. You can get involved and you can actually do something about it, or... you can just shut up. And I'm not telling people to shut up, but that's me. When I looked at myself in the mirror, it's either I have to extract myself or I have to do something about it. So instead, I decided to do something about it and run for office because I didn't like what I was seeing in the density, the proliferation of multifamily when we didn't have the infrastructure to support it. Just the relationship between school districts and the city. There was just a lot of things that I thought could be improved upon. But one thing I always say is we're temporary. I'm just a placeholder in this seat today. I think really when you look at an elected official, the seat belongs to the community. It doesn't necessarily belong to you. So I'm just here for a short time and try and make what improvements that I can while I'm there. And then somebody else can take the reins afterwards. So whatever the community wants is kind of how I try and treat the position. I don't have a personal agenda behind it or anything like that.
Well, people obviously agreed with you because you won by 75% of the vote last time on the re-election. That's impressive. So it's a mandate, isn't it? Isn't that-
Yeah, I mean, I think.
So what are you doing
I
with
think.
that
Yeah,
power?
I mean, I think when we came in and we were so. I mean, the word that's used is developer friendly. Of intern,
Okay.
like why intern? Why are we the fastest growing city
In the country.
entire country? A lot of people think about
Maybe the world. I don't
what
know.
does that mean? Yeah, I mean, what does that mean when you do 250 housing permits a month? I mean, I
is
talk
crazy.
to other cities that think they're fast growing. They do 250 in a year. You look at some of our neighbors, they're doing 50 a month or 75 a month, and it's still a lot. I mean, we have one of our employees that went to an employee award ceremony, and she did like 800 water meter sets in a single year. I can't even imagine 800 in a year. I'm like, these numbers are astronomical, off the charts.
And they're not slowing
of what
down.
it takes, to grow that fast. So I think that's where a lot of the challenges and opportunities come in is, okay, here's all of our challenges. We can only do so much within our tax rate. Here's how we prioritize streets. And I think I'm very much a process and procedure person. So one thing I wanted to get accomplished was adopting our first capital improvement plan that basically outlays all of the money that you're going to spend over the next 5 years in each individual category, from roadway to water and sewer to infrastructure to parks. And it helps the development community as well as it helps the residents of this is our priorities to how we're going to spend your tax dollars. So if there's anything you don't agree with, then please speak up. So that's one of the things that I implemented, as well as a council, we looked at impact fees. So when you have all of this growth, there's only two ways to pay for growth. You either use bond dollars, which means us, the taxpayers, then pay for it, or in turn you have something called impact fees, which are done at the time of a house purchase. So those impact fees are rolled into the lot. Previously, before I was elected, they were about $9,000. We then adopted a structure that was $32,000. So as you can see, that is a heavy cost on
Per lot, you said?
Per lot, yeah,
Okay.
a heavy cost onto the consumer. But we have so much roadway infrastructure to build, so much water and sewer to build. It's something that we have to do to be a sustainable community. If not, we would have to just raise our tax rate. I mean, it's not. Some people think that governments run off of just this like mythical tax dollars are free kind of sense.
just print money, right?
Infrastructure is very expensive. Items that in turn, we had a ground storage tank. Something that cost $20 million in 2020 is now costing over $50 million to build it now. Same thing with elementary schools.
Yeah.
In 2020, you could build an elementary school for $24 million. Now it's costing the school districts around $50 to $60 million with FF&E. So everything's 2.5 to 3 times the cost of what it once was. So I think it's just taking power back to the residents rather than just this unfettered growth, which we have a challenge with, and everyone will have a challenge with in Celina, because about 2/3 of our city has some type of agreement on the land today. So that's nothing you can change without the property owner's consent. I would say I'm proud of our city council. One thing I think a lot of people agree with is we talk about how much multifamily. There's not a right formula for it all. Today we sit somewhere around it's almost 1-to-1 of multifamily units to housing units. And it's probably not that much. It's probably 1 to 2. We have 2 single-family units for every 1 multifamily units. But when you look at entitlement, it's almost 1-to-1.
You're talking about per like unit in the multifamily, or
Yeah,
like
so
per
like
building?
your standard apartment complex has about 300 units. For instance, Light Farms here, I think there's 3,200 homes. I'm in Creeks of Legacy. We have 1,000 homes. But for instance, we have an apartment complex that has 5,400 units. Not 50. 540 units.
Okay.
Then one next door has 300 units, and then one to the south of it has about 400 units. So
Okay.
our single family area, we're actually outnumbered by multifamily to the single family, just
Okay.
in my specific neighborhood. So
Yeah.
over the past 3 years, we've renegotiated and got rid of between about 2,500 and 3,000 units off of our ultimate
Got rid of, I mean,
entitlement.
like slowed down the building process?
No, like they agreed to sign off their rights to build them. So we've gone through
very
and
nice.
renegotiated different agreements.
Okay.
So it's very hard as an elected official to explain absolutely everything that we have going on top of how fast we grow, to just tell our story of everything we're trying to do to put the residents first. I think that's one of the biggest challenges you face as an elected official.
I read the stats on Celina that it's zoned to be the third, or planned to be the third biggest city in DFW. Have you heard that or read that?
Probably
crazy?
DFW. Yeah, so when you
In
look
DFW,
at...
so like Dallas, Fort Worth, Celina, as far as like size.
Yeah, so when you look at, and I'm like the encyclopedia, I love stats.
Yeah, yeah.
This is where the
I don't know
nerd
if
gets
they-
in.
maybe you've heard
So,
this as the mayor.
Yeah, so a lot of people compare us to Frisco. So Frisco itself is about 70 square miles. Their ISD, I think, is 77. Prosper, the town of Prosper, is 27 square miles.
Yeah.
But their ISD is 58 square miles. So
Yeah.
that's why, in turn, you go a lot beyond their boundaries. But Celina is 78 square miles. So we're about 10% bigger than Frisco. But the school district is 96 square miles. So it goes into Pilot Point. It goes into McKinney.
okay.
It goes into Wesson. So the only school district bigger than Celina ISD is McKinney, and they're about 130 square miles, I believe. So we'll likely be the largest city or the second largest city in all of Collin County, just competing with McKinney.
I had read. Do you know how many fire stations y'all Celina has purchased the land for?
We have a lot of them dedicated via agreements.
Yeah.
It's about 15.
15?
Yeah.
So I thought it was more than that. Okay. So that's
But it's
the
but that's
build
kind
out
of
in the next
a
100
fluid
years.
number.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what does that take? 20 years, 30 years, 40
It's just like-
years. I mean, we're building one
And
right
that's more
now.
than Plano.
just with-
That's
with
more than
our-
Plano. That's more than Frisco. That's more than it's more than McKinney. I think. How many fire stations McKinney? But as far as size, spread.
Yeah, so and that's the other, like, fire districts. Our fire district's 81 square miles. So even though our city is only 78 square miles, fire district's
gotcha.
a little bit bigger. So there's those nuances that people don't understand of, in turn, of like, why does my kid go to this? Like, why in turn is there a fire station across the street and you don't respond, but you come
Yeah.
from over here? There's all these different intricacies about government that I personally love, but it's very hard to explain. I mean, I try and do the
this
best
podcast would
the
be
best
really
chance
long.
I can to put that information, but it's opportunities like these to be able to explain some of it that I enjoy.
Which is interesting. It's crazy. I recently was elected on the Mud Board, which is kind of like our neighborhood's city council. I mean, it's kind of like town council of sorts.
Yeah, I got a message.
Until we get annexed by Celina, whenever that was going to happen.
I got a message about some street that it's like buckling or something like that in Sage. And I was like,
That's
we
not
don't, it's not us. So I messaged Jeff and Johnny, and I was like,
Just like, hey,
what do you
this
want me
one's
to
on
say
you.
to this? Yeah. So, I mean, but I think that's good to have a good relationship.
Yeah,
with
we have a
you.
good relationship.
The Celina provides fire and police.
Yeah,
we're
we pay
looking.
for it, but yeah.
Our next fire station will be the rebuilding of fire
when is that
station
gonna happen?
number 2. We'll probably go out for design next year. So
talking
our
a few
fire
years
station
out.
number 4, probably in the next 36 months, I would
It'll
say.
be finished in the next
It's
36?
finished in the next 36
okay.
months, yeah.
Because we need a sidewalk out there to the 7-Eleven along the way. Just for the record, we need that sidewalk because kids are like either right through the dirt or right in the street.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. Yeah,
which will happen when they put the fire station in.
all
Most
those lovely
likely,
e-bikes, right?
yes, those e-bikes and scooters.
Yeah.
Like they play Frogger through traffic.
So right now we're building fire station number 4.
Where's that?
It's at our public safety campus next to the police headquarters.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's, Faces, Punk Carter, and Coit is the other major cross street.
Okay.
So that's one of the densest areas that we need to improve response times. Because what everybody works for is being an ISO 1. This really matters for your insurance rates. Currently, we're in ISO 3. There's a lot of factors that come in.
Okay.
Part of it is water availability throughout your entire fire district. So in turn, having a hydrant close, how quick are you able to get there? The other side of it is response time. So your average response times wanting to be, I think it's under 7 minutes is the national average. So if we sit somewhere and we're 8 to 9 minutes today, we need to bring that under. So that's ultimately our goal. Is to help improve that, I think, quality that we as residents want to be able to get us there. It helps lower our insurance rates, as well as if you know you're an ISO 1, then you have the highest quality of care and response times that you're going to be able to
ISO
get.
1 for all of Celina?
Yes.
Okay, so it has to be within.
It has
so
to
you
be everybody.
station
so even
them
though,
fire.
even though
Okay.
we're everywhere, so fire station number.
So we might be ISO 1, but we're not because we're in Celina.
Correct.
Therefore, it's okay.
Yes. Yeah, so even though you have a station there today,
across the
in turn,
street.
it's everybody else. So,
Gotcha.
but then we have residents up in like North Preston Lakes that have 3-acre lots, and it's taken a while to get there. Or over to Legacy Hills, it's 15 to 18 minutes to respond just because we don't have a station in that area yet. So that's something that'll be our next station after we rebuild Station 2. That's currently the plan. So we have Station 4. It should open in the spring of 2027. Then we'll do the design plan. Now it's kind of rinse and
So they haven't even
repeat.
done the design plan for Station 2 yet?
Station 2, no. It'll take about 6 months, but we'll award it as soon as Station 4 is done. But when we did the design for Station 4, this is supposed to be kind of our rinse and repeat plans.
Okay.
As you say, for instance, the elementary schools, they kind of just in turn do them all the same.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
easy
the next
that way.
5 or 10. So there's very minor aesthetic things that'll change, or they say, you know what, we may have one extra battalion chief or one extra captain or something, so they need to change. But the external layout will be a lot of the same. In our Station 4, we have a training tower going up, but training tower will go away in all of the other
so
buildings.
in 4 it'll have that, but
In 4
2
will
won't.
have it, but then, two will really be 5 in essence.
I haven't seen 4. I have seen 3. How different is it from 3?
So 3 is like the Taj Mahal of fire stations.
Yeah, I was like, bring it on. That looks like
that's
like how in the world
it's
do
a
we get
beautiful. It's a dual company station.
dual meaning what? 2 cities?
No, dual company meaning that you can run 2 apparatuses out of it.
It
So
looks
we
big
only
enough
have
for it.
one today. It stores like our antique. All of our ones that we take
Antique
and show
meaning like
up and
10
do
years
in
ago?
parades.
Or talking about
Yeah, so we have a lot of extra space at Fire Station number 3. So when we get like pallets of water donated and things like that, we have a lot of extra space at Fire Station number 3. They're not as busy just being out. It was built on
Denton.
It's on Denton County, yeah. So it was built on 1385.
Yeah.
And so as Green Meadows grows, as Sutton Fields grows, they'll get more calls, but they're a little bit ahead of the curve as far as being out there. But they had the same issue with response time. So everybody was 15, 20 minutes to get over there. Parvin was a gravel road. So then in turn, they couldn't take the big giant trucks through. They'd have to go up 428, down 1385. And so a lot of that is fixed now. Plus we have a station over there to respond immediately, which is great for all the residents on that side.
But it won't be as big. All that to say, it's
it won't be as
Fire
big.
Station 2 is not going to look like Fire Station 3?
No, I don't know that
I need
we'll
to look
need
at
to
4
build.
then.
4
4 has been being built right now.
Yeah, it's vertical today.
Okay.
And so it'll probably finish before the end of the year is hopefully where we're at, and then in turn open.
Do y'all
open
bid
first
out
part.
the construction of them, or is it use
We
the
do.
same company each time?
Yeah, no, we bid out. We go and hire a construction manager at risk, and then in turn hire a architect. Now, if it's the architect plans are normally worth 7 figures or more. So in turn, a lot of times you work with the same architect.
Yeah.
And then in turn we go and,
It wouldn't be
bid it out.
if you're tweaking the one that's already there. It shouldn't be as much, or is it still 7 figures?
It's not as much. I
Because
couldn't
you're
give you the
redoing
exact figure, but Crosslink Construction has built Station 3 and they're building Station 4. But we like to say we spread the love around. So in turn, we have Lee Lewis built our police station,
nice
our
station.
downtown center. We have Swinnerton is building the parking garage, as well as what will be our future City Hall today and library. It's kind of combined into one building that you see under construction today downtown. So we use all different contractors.
Tell me about downtown. They're doing a lot of remodeling. I guess it was $90 million or something for remodeling the whole downtown
it's
area.
Almost up to about $100 million. We added in Arizona Street. So if you look at the street plus adjacent infrastructure, we did a 396 space parking garage. That the first 2-3 levels are open today. The 4th floor is closed because they have a big giant 5-story crane set up and they put all the materials, have it delivered to the parking garage or have it delivered to the side street. Then they take it and store it all on top.
Oh, that's good.
The building, and then in turn, they're building what we refer to as a downtown center. It's about 110,000 square feet. We jokingly pride ourselves that we have the smallest library in the state of Texas per capita, but we really do. It's around 2,000 square feet. We're at 65,000 residents, about 80,000 in our service area, and we have a 2,000 square foot library.
That's
so
amazing.
Day one, we're gonna go to a
You can't get lost in it.
a 20. You've been there. It's
I
not like,
have been there. It's like, this is huge.
we're gonna have about a 25,000 square foot library. So 10 years from now, this
Say that again. How big?
About 25,000
That's a
square
little more than
feet.
2,000.
Yeah, so it's about 10x the current size. So the first 2 stories will be our library, and then the 3rd and 4th stories will be administration because they're all in. I call it the trailer park. I heard human resources doesn't like that, but I'm
if the
human
shoe fits.
resources worst
The shoe fits.
nightmare. I don't know, like when you go to a school district, they'll call them learning cottages,
Yes, yeah,
or they call them portables or whatever it may
portables,
be.
yeah.
But the nickname is the trailer park because we're growing.
Nicknamed by you or by
we're
others
growing
also?
so fast. I can't remember where I heard it, but if you want to blame me, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. You can come after me for it.
You might
but
find them under the trailer house.
I mean, they're nice. So
They
they're
are.
brand new.
Yeah.
It's not like a construction trailer. It really is nice office trailers. They can be very cold because it's one of those, portables. You crank that AC up and you're either going to be really
icebox.
hot or really
You
cold.
can hang meat.
There's one or the other. But no, they are nice. I mean, so we have 2-3 of those set up, but we're just. When I came to Celina, going back to 2017, I think we went from 40 employees to 60 employees. We're now up to 408. So we're adding anywhere between 25 and 40 employees a year and more. When you take a fire station online, it takes about 18 to 20 employees to do that. So in turn, we also have the same. Our police department can't order employees. That sounds funny. Can't onboard is what I meant to say. Employees quick enough. It's very difficult when we go out for our police department. We say, okay, we may have 6-8 employees, and some of them aren't going to pass the field training, and some of them just aren't what we're looking for as a department. So it's hard to even get 4 or 6 employees. And firefighters, they go out and they have like 300 applications, and I'm not exaggerating. It is night and day what it takes to be a law enforcement officer today, which I have so much respect for. It's
night and day from
difficult.
police to fire?
From police to fire.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, fire is getting 300 applications, and police is getting 10. I mean,
well, it's hard to get police anywhere, which is
extremely difficult, and it's highly competitive. Different departments, taking each other's employees. So that's always interesting in a growing city. But yeah, we're really excited about the downtown center. It's supposed to be completed end of this year, end of December, so it'll open to the public January, February. We have about 80,000 items being delivered, so that's going to come in on a couple 18-wheelers. They have to stock all those books. So I think we're going to put out a call for volunteers. If anybody's super passionate about the library, we obviously hired a company to help, but if anybody wants to come and
move
help
books.
and move boxes and stock the library, I think we're
you
going
can
to have
check
a
out
big
Book
giant,
Out for free.
Yeah, a community event. But I mean, that kind of stuff excites me. Like, I'd love to see everything moving into the library. So,
when we first moved out here, they talked about the tollway, and now it's like actually going in. I thought for a little bit it might bring the city square of Celina closer to the tollway, but it's not. They're building. It's not going to be necessarily really close. It's not too far, but as far as the tollway going right by, some other area is going to be busy with tollway infrastructure and buildings, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so when we look at downtown, it really will be more of a, I mean, we're smack dab right in the middle between D&T and Preston Road, our downtown. Yep. So it really is more of a destination.
Yeah.
We, in turn, as we look at a central hub for our small businesses, how in turn do we get you to come to downtown? I think that's one thing we consistently work on of, okay, there's going to be all of these options on Preston Road. There's going to be all of these options on D&T, but with land costs so high, construction costs is so high, it's extremely difficult to operate a small business in any of those areas. So how in turn do we work with you and support you wherever you are, obviously, but bringing people downtown that really has been the heartbeat of Celina for over 100 years. So J. Fred Smith was a businessman that came in over 100 years ago, decided to move all of the buildings from off of Main Street and make his own square. So for those that don't know, really you only have a square if you have a county seat. So that's why you see it in McKinney. That's why you see it in Sherman. That's where the courthouse is. And we didn't have that, but we were just blessed by one man's vision over a century ago. We've just
put it on train tracks and roll it in.
Yeah, everybody's played their part in expanding that downtown square and redeveloping it. So, I mean, when we moved to Celina, I remember there was a vacant flower shop and there was an auto parts store on the south side, and it has completely changed. A lot of times, I think people think about they want to freeze Celina where it is today. And I mean, I could fall guilty to that too. Of, you know what I love? I love Celina between about 2019 and 2021. There was a whole lot less traffic.
I knew most of the people.
A whole lot less construction. Yeah, you do definitely. There's so many new families moving in, but we also we try and be a welcoming community to everybody coming in, and so we know what we're providing just as far as workforce housing, the ability to be able to service anybody from an estate lot on an acre or multiple acres to there's different areas that are still unincorporated, people moving in, as well as starter homes, whether that may be a 40-foot lot, a 50-foot lot. So we have a wide variety of housing options for anybody wanting to call Celina home.
Yeah. What excites you about Celina the most?
Oh man, I think just the positive outlook for our future. I think one of the things that I pride myself on working on is being able to work towards job centers inside of the city. So just that opportunity to be able to partner with our school district, whether that be where we sit today is in Prosper ISD or that be Celina ISD. I mean, I think really the outlook on Celina ISD being 96 square miles, all the amount of schools that they have coming in, being able to work with Collin College and what they offer and expand on their offerings. I think that workforce development is exciting. Today in Celina, about 30% of our residents work from home. If you look at, depending on the market, the Texas average is about 8 to 12%. So we're about three times the state average as far as our work from home employees. And I really think it's us working, as you mentioned, that Dallas North Tollway expansion, us working on bringing employers in, really shifting our mindset of we've been so much about the commercial tax base off of Preston Road, which still needs to be done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's growing a lot.
When you look at the economic vitality of a city, you don't want your entire tax base to rely off of homeowners.
No.
You in turn want to shift all of those single-time fees over to a commercial tax because that's more sustainable. It's going to happen yearly. If you have single-time fees, those run out after your growth phase is done. So that's really when you look at what we did between about 2015 and 2020, that was about getting houses on the ground. Then you look 2020 to 2025. Now we have Lowe's, Costco, Walmart, Home Depot that will all be open, should be before the end of the year. And so then what is our next 5 years? And I think that's really going and recruiting somebody to put a corporate campus down to build office buildings along the tollway. And I think that'll be our next 5 years. Is really shifting
who recruits
that focus.
Who recruits those companies? Someone in the staff, or do you call the companies in California going, hey, you should move from California to Celina? Like, where's Celina? Like, Frisco, just go up a little bit and you're there.
One thing that Texas blesses cities with is an economic development corporation. So when you go, and we always talk about shop local campaigns, what does that mean here? So when you pay 8.25 cents in sales tax, 6.25 goes to the state and the county. And then we're left with 2 cents. So 1 cent goes to the city, to your general fund that helps fund fire, police, operations. And then the other half cent, one goes to our Economic Development Corporation and the other goes to the Community Development Corporation. So the Economic Development Corporation is tasked with creating jobs and increasing the sales tax base. So really it's just a never-ending cycle of sales tax, because you can use that for business incentives. You can use it for infrastructure projects. There's different things that Type A and Type B sales tax can be used for. And then the Community Development Corporation can be used for land. It can be used for different quality of life projects. It can be used for park operations. So they're both a little bit restricted in their type of use. CDC is more quality of life, and then the EDC is more jobs and sales tax. So that's really, we have 6 people who sit in an office, and they are tasked with, and their entire job is going and supporting our existing business, our tax base, as well as then going and recruiting. So that's what they do day in and day out. Whether we have somebody like Home Depot that's coming in, or like Walmart that just opened the end of April, Costco coming in, but then making sure working with the brokers on the other end to make sure that the tenant list is filled. We have people come in and say, well, I want to open a business here. Well, we don't have any available space. So across Texas as a whole is about 96% full from a retail standpoint. So you don't see, if you drive around, you don't see any available spaces to put tenants. So
in Celina or in Texas, we're talking about?
In the 96% is Texas-wide. So it's extremely difficult to be able to find anything. When you look at Houston and San Antonio, the DFW market, there's not a lot of vacant spaces across the entire area. But in Celina, I don't even know if we have one So
That's
if you
awesome.
in turn want to, it's a
That's
great
great.
problem to have.
So we're
but
putting
it's
new
an
buildings in other
opportunity
words.
of, yes, how in turn do we then meet that construction costs are at an all-time high, land costs are at an all-time high, and it's very difficult because
Yeah.
then rents just keep going up and up and up. You're paying $40-$50 a foot off of Preston Road. And so then you look at downtown and what that is. I mean, our downtown rents are somewhere between $25-$30 a foot. If you go out to Sherman, then in turn they're somewhere around $12 to $20 a foot
For now.
for now.
Yeah,
And it just rises. I mean, if you go and get something off of 380, you're low 50s a foot. So it's extremely challenging in our market to make it as a small business. So, I mean, if you're a big giant like Panda Express just opened,
Yeah.
they're a fast food chain like that's going to do $2 to $3 million a year. They're
At that location,
They're going to do,
you think?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They'll do okay.
They'll do
but
fine.
think about a small business in turn if they're having to spend $30-$40 a foot, you're $2 million into that, then you're going to be another $4 to $6 million into your building, so you're $8 million in on a 1 acre project just for a fast food quick service restaurant. So the environment we are in is extremely challenging. So that's one thing we've tasked our EDC with, is obviously to be the city of small business, and how in turn do we help small businesses come along. So rather that's looking at incubator space is kind of hard. It's something you hear about where you put somebody in, but once you're in an incubator space, normally you're only there 6 months to a year, and then you move on to something. We don't have anywhere for people to move on to. So really it's tasked with creating more available space for tenants to be able to come in. So going and working with development partners, selling them on Celina, saying this is why you should open up, whether it's strip retail or a different mixed-use concept, and this is why you should choose Celina to invest all of your dollars in.
I assume at this point people are contacting y'all if it's growing like this. I mean, they're still busy in contacting them, but when you see everyone wanting to come here, like I want to be there too. So I don't know.
So I mean, we get
good problem.
Whether it be different foreign investors to local groups that come in that are investing, to out of state, from New York to Florida to California. You touched on, there is people all over. When you put yourself on the map as the fastest growing city in the nation, you definitely put yourself out there. I mean, one of my passion is meeting with church planners. So in turn, we have a lot of people come in, and that's like one of our churches is called Antioch, Celina, and they came from Conway, Arkansas, and that's one of the reasons they church planted in Round Rock when Williamson County was very fast growing, and they saw Celina on the list, thought God was calling them to be here, and then in turn decided to choose Celina as a church plant. So then they came in. I love working with those kind of groups.
Awesome.
So it's not just business. It's really what is the fabric of our community and what's that going to be going forward.
When you ran for mayor, for those who don't know, when you run for mayor, do you announce running for mayor, or do you join the city council and then they vote you in? How does that work?
Yeah, so normally you would gain experience. I didn't do that.
That's my question. I'm like, throw me in the deep end.
Yeah. So I didn't do that. Normally you would. We always tell. The funny part is I love all the taboo subjects. So in turn, normally we'd say like normally you work your way up. And in turn, we'd say, okay, go get involved in a board and commission. And then in turn, you normally find somebody who's very passionate about, because a lot of people, I mean, I despise politics in some essence. That's probably what makes you a good politician is you can't, you don't like the system, right? And that's what in turn causes you to run. Most people has the same story. So even though we take all of the complaints as the elected officials, we were the ones complaining before we then got into the seat. And it's just a cycle that goes on and on and on and on. So and in turn, normally, yes, you would like serve on a board and commission. You would in turn have some type of prominent standing in the community to then get backing behind you. Then you would run for city council. And then generally after city council, then you would run for mayor. I just went straight for mayor. So our form of city government inside of Celina is we're a city manager form of government.
Okay.
So we have 7 city council members. You have a mayor and 6 on city council, and then we hire a city manager to run the day-to-day operations. So he's like the CEO of the organization. So when you look at our...
Does he report to you, or does he report to the board?
He reports to the entire city council.
Entire 7 of you.
And so I work more closely with him on a day-to-day basis, just from a ceremonial standpoint of responsibilities of a mayor versus responsibilities of a city council member. But in turn, you look at the org chart of really you have all of staff. They report up to their director. Their director manager reports to an assistant city manager. The assistant city manager, we have 2 of them right now, report up to the city manager. The city manager then reports to us, 7 members of city council, and then us, city council, then report to all of our constituents.
Gotcha.
Which is then the general public that then votes and holds us accountable if we're carrying out the wishes of what they want to see. So that's really how it works. I just went straight for mayor, and here I am.
When you ran for the mayor the first time, I don't remember reading the results of how close the election was, but did you enjoy knocking on the doors and talking to people? Was that, or did you just spell your name?
I hate running for office so much. Like it's so,
I'd actually enjoy that part probably more than actually being in office.
Awkward. I always put it back, and I should go back and watch that scene. Are you a Yellowstone fan?
I've seen some of them, yeah.
So there's a scene where John Dutton goes to run for, I think it's governor of Montana, and the lady that currently holds the position is going on to Senate or something like that, and she in turn is giving him advice, and she's like, basically, when you run for office, you in turn, like, it's almost like you have to take all your morals and all your soul and you put them by the wayside. You run for office, and then the second that you're in office, you have to take all that back and change your complete mentality. And so I felt like when I ran for office the first time, it wasn't who I was. Like it's terrible going up against that. Like there really is an incumbent advantage. It's not.
He wasn't incumbent at the time. He was running again.
He was a 10-year incumbent.
I know.
Running
I know him well.
And so I was running, and it's just like I felt like it wasn't who I was. It's something that, like, yes, I'm proud to have the community support and win, but like you have to put yourself out there, which then can get nasty a little bit. And as an elected official, you also can't control, even if you're trying to create a narrative as to why you should be elected versus your opponent. Then at the same point in time, like, you have all of these other, like, surrogates or just people that are supporting you, and sometimes they say absolutely bonkers things that you don't agree with.
That's not my campaign.
But you can't do anything about it. You just have to live with it. So, man, I find politics fascinating. I mean, one thing that I was going to touch on is it's always very interesting from the inside, because in turn, you have somebody run who may not have any political experience, and you're like, okay, did you transcend? But the ironic part is the elected officials are the ones who then appoint people to the boards and commissions. So if you don't agree with them, then you're in turn never going to get appointed. And so then in turn, how do you serve if you? So it's like the fact of the thought of that you have to fall in line to then in turn be eligible to run for city council, or what makes a good city council member, or what makes a good school board trustee. Like, anybody, you're just there to be a community representative. I get you have to have some type of acumen and a level of respect and decorum, but this thought that some people have that, like, you need to serve on a board, or you in turn need to serve on planning and zoning or the economic development
to learn
board,
the situation,
to then learn. And it's like, yes, but the people who may be the most qualified aren't even given the opportunity to serve, just because it's, I don't want to say it's a good old boy system. It's just the system in and of itself of how all of that works. Because you, as me, like, hey, I sit here and talk about how we need to go after and recruit employers to plant their flag in Celina. Well, if somebody completely disagrees, well, then I'm not going to put them on the Economic Development Corporation. If you have a completely different philosophy, if you're not, look, the growth is coming whether we like it or not, but if you're a complete anti-growth and you want to be as difficult as possible and not try and guide it, if you're going to try and stop it or get us in a bunch of sabotage and lawsuits and all of that, that's not me. I'm not here to in turn go and get in a bunch of lawsuits and cost our taxpayers a whole bunch of money. So if that's you, then you're going to have to take a different path than being on, I don't want to call it the same team as me, because I like to think we're all Team Celina, but just working together is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And then you look at, from an elected standpoint, we have 7 different people with 7 different personalities, 7 different upbringings, 7 different professional careers, even though we just had 3 lawyers on council, so many lawyers. That's always an interesting one. But no, you just
you're not a lawyer though.
You have to. No, I'm not. You have to respect everybody and their opinion. And I think that's one great thing that we do is just we can have disagreements, but in turn we'll go and pass $100 million in bonds, and then we go and argue about like one single line in a policy on the next one. I'm like, guys, we just spent $100 million, and then we just spent 45 minutes arguing over creating a policy in the very next agenda item. I'm like, what are we doing here? But that's the joy of politics. So you kind of have to enjoy it. It'll eat away at you if you don't have that long-term vision.
So you enjoy it then?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy parts of it. No, I love representing the community. I mean, everybody at the end of the day, we're human, so we have disagreements. We see things through different lenses, and I think as long as everybody has a mutual professional respect, then we'll all be okay. It's just, I mean, those disagreements happen. We agree on 98% of the items. It's those 2%, and it's always something I laugh about it. Like we have something we call an integrity fund, which is funded by when you go and wipe a bunch of trees out. It's called tree mitigation.
Yeah.
You have to pay fees for doing the trees. We have cell tower leases on our water towers, and so we have this one fund, and it generates anywhere between $500,000 $1 million a year, and we'll argue over how we're spending this. In
revenue from cell towers?
Revenue from cell towers, plus, but you pay a single-time fee when you do tree mitigation.
Okay.
It has a couple different sources, but those are the two main sources to the fund. So it has like $2 to $3 million in it today. So we'll sit there and we'll argue over how we're going to do it, like whether it's facade grants for downtown or whether it's going to HOAs or whatever it may be, like small business support. But then in turn, we go and pass $140 million in general bonds for water, wastewater, municipal buildings to be able to buy vehicles, whatever it may be. And that's just, everybody's like, okay, check. And then we sit there and argue for multiple meetings over this like $1 million fund when we just spent $100 million. So it's, you gotta love local government.
Priorities are in order.
Yeah,
So.
you gotta love local government.
Is this a full-time job for you, Mayor?
No,
Do you
no,
get paid?
it's
it volunteer?
It is volunteer, so we don't get
so this isn't
a
what you do all the
stipend or
time.
anything. Yeah, so I spend, I don't know, somewhere 20 hours, 30 hours a week. I mean, I think it's everybody plays their own part. So this is just me individually. You can put as much. So according to our city charter, in turn, the mayor is really the figurehead of the city, but all I'm really required to do is go give, it's like one presentation a year. So
that's
obviously that's the only requirement via the city charter. So it would really be
overachiever.
It would be a disservice to the community to get elected. And so really you look at that checks and balances of making sure that staff is carrying out the will of city council, and then in turn that city council is carrying out the will of their voters and their constituents. So by day, I just came onto a new company at SRC Local Markets.
What is that?
So they're in real estate. So they do a lot of land development, farm and ranch.
All over Texas, or are we talking?
Yeah, all over Texas, and some Oklahoma as well.
Okay.
I won't be working in Oklahoma, but I'm helping them with
you have a
business
real estate license,
development.
or is this
I do have my real estate license now,
Okay.
yes.
What were you doing before that? Banking, I could have sworn.
Yeah, so about spring of 25, I was in IT before, in banking, and then I switched over to business development with a different company there, and so did that about the past year, and then turned around and switched, just got a new opportunity, so I've been with them a little bit, but it's something new, it's something exciting, and we'll see how it goes. So as elected officials, we're not paid, so we in turn have to provide for our family somehow. So I always say,
kids like to eat
when people
somehow.
exactly, have to pay my mortgage. If not, the bank will come calling. But in turn, we have to provide. So until the voters wanted to change that, you could do it via charter amendment, and then you could go pay elected officials. So for instance, your county commissioners, they get paid. So it is their 9-to-5 job to go, and they're elected for 4 years. They go and sit in the office. They work with staff. That is a completely different than our I don't want to say ceremonial because we hold more power than that, but we're policy and governance driven. We're not operations. So we don't run the day to day. There's always a joke that I'm like going and filling potholes, or I'm going to go and hang electrical wires for Encore, or that whatever it may be, somebody caused ruts in a park somewhere. No, we're not fixing any of that. We in turn have a professional staff that does that day to day job. We work more at a higher level, working on economic opportunities as well as governance. From how we want. We tell the city manager our expectations, and then he uses his professional expertise to then push that down to staff.
Good for you. So what your new job, real estate, like you go and sell land, or what's
yeah, so
what
we
is
work
your
with
position?
a
What are you
lot
going to do?
of investment groups that in turn, yes, I mean we can do anything from selling your house up to working with a lot of different investment groups, whether they're in turn buying land, that they're the development company that's the ultimate end user, as well as farm and ranch, same kind of thing, whether that's an individual or it's a corporation. That's what the company does. So I'm really helping on the relationship side. A lot of that knowledge that in turn you gain from your volunteer experience from water and sewer and understanding CCNs and different areas to go and work in. We do some stuff in Houston, El Paso.
Do you travel much then now?
I'm not having to travel yet. It's pretty new for me, but it'll be coming. Yeah. So yeah, we do work all over Texas, help with industrial parks, that kind of thing. So whether that be site selection or just owner representation on the transaction itself, we just have a vast array of services.
Good for you. Where do you go to school? Where do you go to college?
So I grew up in Garland. So I graduated from North Garland. Then I went to Richland. I don't have a 4-year degree. I went to Richland, which was just a community college. From there, I then got into IT outside of that. And then that was my career for 15 or so years. And then in turn kind of transitioned. Just new opportunities.
Good for you. Yeah. You say your kids are younger in elementary, middle school kind of ages.
Yeah, so I have a daughter going into 3rd grade and a daughter going into 6th grade.
Okay. That's exciting. I'm a little bit ahead of you with my older kids, but a little bit older. But what do you hope for this area for your kids? And you want them to stay here for the rest of their life? It's changing a lot. When we moved here, we could probably buy houses. Now it's harder to find housing that's so expensive. Everything's gone through the roof.
Yeah. So
where do you see the future of our kids in this area?
Yeah, I mean, generations is changing, right? And since you look at, I think a lot of the younger generation isn't necessarily you kind of touched on it, being able to have that entry-level housing. So, I mean, I think we provide that today. What's that going to look like 10 years from now? When my kids are buying a house, you also look at the newer generations are more experiences. They want to travel more. Like I bought my first house 19, 20 years old. I had a gracious brother-in-law that helped me out. It was in 2010.
And
he helped me with my down payment, and then the value had gone up so much. I refinanced a couple years later down to a 15-year mortgage, and then in turn paid him back right away.
That's awesome.
And so, but how difficult is that today? My first house, I mean, I'll say it was $150,000 that I bought in 2010. That doesn't exist any longer. That same house today is $300,000. So I just got lucky when I bought a house. So now, I mean, our entry level point, you can find houses for $300,000 to $350,000. You're going to be going up to Legacy Hills, farther north. I mean, we're on the very southern end here. So you're going to be 8-10 miles away. So Celina's so large. But that's what it's going to take in turn. If you're working in Frisco, you're working in McKinney, how in turn do you help find that affordable housing for your first time house? So I think that's really something we try and work on is providing that vast array of options. So in turn, you look at cities like Plano, for instance, where in turn they had larger lots. Yes, they had 70-foot lots. They in turn all were 3,000, 4,000 square foot houses. But how do you age in place? If you in turn are an empty nester and your kids have gone off to college and starting their own families, do you still want to take care of a 4,000 square foot house or have a big lawn or have a pool anymore that nobody's using? No. So I think when we look at planning out our city, you look at being able to provide those different options, whether it's townhomes or whether it's single family for rent, which is more of a commercial product that in turn is like tiny homes, but they're all for rent in a small community. It doesn't have the verticality of traditional multifamily, so then it's easier on the school system as well with that density. And so I look at my kids coming back and I think, is this where they want to be? Number one, I don't want to dictate to my kids what they want to do. If my kids want to go live in Alaska or they want to go to Europe or something like that, I hope they have the freedom and opportunity to go wherever they see fit and be able to find a great job. So I think to be able to even consider kids coming back here, one thing we have to do is be able to have that job base for them to even be able to come back here. So that's where that priority comes in. But man, kids grow up so fast.
They do, very much so. My eldest is studying abroad right now, so yeah, it's crazy.
See, living the dream.
I know it's like
proud dad moment.
It's awesome.
It's probably stressful, but
he's fine. I'm not worried about him. It's kind of fun. But you're from here. You have siblings. You have
So I have
other people, mayors in other
siblings.
towns.
I have no.
No,
Yeah,
you're the only one.
I'm the
only mayor.
politician that came out of nowhere. So you have a brother that lives up around the Norman, Oklahoma area.
Okay.
And my sister lives in Murphy.
Okay.
So you threw me. They're in Wiley ISD.
Yeah.
I was going to say Wiley, but she lives in Murphy. It's Wiley ISD.
Yeah.
Over there. So just growing up around here. So my dad recently just moved in the past year up to the same neighborhood as my brother.
Okay.
Up in Oklahoma, same house that I grew up in as a child. He was there 30 years, and then he moved. My mom is up in the Sherman area.
Okay.
She has a small business there. She owns a comic book store.
Oh, fun.
And so we're kind of spread out.
Was a comic book something she liked, or she found a niche for it, or how does someone get in a comic book store?
I don't know that I can answer that question.
It wasn't you. It wasn't you who loving. Okay.
No, I'm not. I am the boring one. I don't play video games. I don't really watch TV. I'm just like, man, this is my life right now. So yeah.
Going to sporting things for your kids.
Yeah, I did a lot of sports when I was a kid.
Did you?
I enjoy golfing if I can get out.
Okay.
But yeah, I have no passion for comic
No,
books.
it's just like
at
where
all.
that's interesting. I don't know anyone who had a comic book store, but that's good for
they're
her.
very few and far between.
Well, that's like a record store. It's like
Yeah, correct.
they still exist.
Got some 8-tracks hanging out in the back.
They still exist. And you said your wife was from the same area. You knew her from
same
school.
Area. So we had a mutual friend that we met through church.
Oh, cool.
And so in turn, we're about a year apart in age. We were 2 grades apart. So I think I think it was the fall. Maybe she was a freshman and I was a junior or senior and sophomore.
Okay.
So yeah, we're high school sweethearts, but
Nice.
we didn't go to the same high school. So we were introduced through a mutual friend.
That's cool.
That I went to church with. That she was friends with her, a lady that I grown up with, and then in turn we just stayed together. So
That's awesome.
We'll be 20 years together come this fall.
Congratulations.
We just celebrated our 13-year anniversary. So I always make ball and chain jokes and just brace myself to get smacked. But no, I would say my wife's my best friend. I
same
couldn't
with me.
give the service to the community that I'm able to give without her support and our entire family's support.
And she's a fellow Mustang, so
She did graduate from SMU with her
Those
advertising degree. Somehow I went to community college and had no debt whatsoever, and I paid off her student loans.
Oh, you're
so
good.
I don't know how that ended up happening.
Love.
But,
It's love.
Yeah, it's love. So
It's gotta be.
Yeah, go Mustangs.
Yeah, go Mustangs. That's awesome. Well, good luck. I know I've wanted to talk with you for the last few years, and we just get so busy. About how busy life is. I started last year and a half ago. I started working with a friend's remodeling company, home remodeling, do luxury home remodeling. I got so swamped. So I keep on having to move our interviews. I'm like to talk. I'm like I have to move it now, and then So
I think
it's
we did
part
it
of
before
life.
we did this. We both did it to each other.
Yeah, it was
I
like
had to
back and
reschedule one
forth.
time,
I'm
you had to reschedule.
For
But
the
here we
love
are.
of-
We made it happen.
Yes, we need to make it happen. That's good. So we'll have to do it again. Do you plan to run again in 3 years?
Oh gosh, ask
Or is this-
me
ask
in
you
2.5 years. I don't.
You're like, shoot me now.
Yeah, I mean, after I ran the first time, I was like, gosh, I'm never gonna run again because running is just so.
Did you run? Were there other people running in addition to
It
the
was just
two?
one-on-one. It was just.
Oh, it was
us
just the two of you. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
for that. I mean, when you get into having a 3-4 person race, and then you have to go to a runoff.
Yeah, I
generally,
couldn't remember.
Like
Because I
what-
can't vote for you.
like
Remember?
what's-
I'm like in
yeah,
the mud. I'm
what's
like I can vote
happening
for
in
nothing.
Frisco right now? Like bless their souls. I don't. That's another level of politics, and then you get all of these like out-of-state consultants.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to run for office, and I'm just like, oh man, that's not a world of politics that I think I want to be in. That's another level. People
It's
always ask,
crazy.
what are you going to do after this? Do you want to go to the be a state representative or in turn go to county commissioner? And I'm like, I'm just enjoying every day and enjoying it with my family. If I
Yeah.
can be there for my daughters and be dad, that's a good day for me.
That sounds a great day for you. Well, Ryan, I appreciate you, man. This
Yeah.
has been, I'll be rooting on the success of Celina, even though, as I said, I can't vote for anyone on this other. We have the police and fire from Celina, but eventually you'll annex us in, and then we'll be part of it, and I could vote or run.
Yeah, if you
So-
ever want to talk about your mud debt,
Yeah.
we can get into that. But it's gonna be a few years,
Which is fine.
It's
I'm
not
okay with
gonna
that.
be anytime soon that Life Farm will come into the city. It's just a math equation.
I
That's all
know.
it is.
It's strictly math. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
This
thanks
has
for
been
having me
this has
on.
been fun.
I appreciate
and
your time.
we'll be in touch for other and see you around Celina and Prosper ISD.
Yeah, it's not goodbye. It's see you later.
See you tomorrow. So.
Yeah.